So, to bring in Jayashree Kurup, Head of Content and Research at Magic Bricks. Jayashree, thank you for joining us. When we talk about Bangalore right now, if you're simply looking at making an investment and taking advantage of all of the wonderful things going on in that city, what are the top investment locations?
When we look at Magic Bricks in the Bangalore market, there are a few corridors that are standout locations. If you look at IT-driven corridors, the Whitefield, Electronic City, Sarjapur Road, these are all driven by the IT investments. Marthahalli and Whitefield are in exactly the same location. You will see Electronic City a little further up, Sarjapur on the other side, driven by more IT investment, and these are all top areas by demand. You also have the HSR layout, which has been a key investment destination for the last 4 quarters now, as well as Bannerghatta Road. And when we check out, we find that Bannerghatta Road is actually an end-user destination for people who like to see Bangalore's green locations. And green is where Bannerghatta Road scores.
But Jayashree, tell us this, if we were to invest in locations like Whitefield and Electronic City, what sort of capital appreciation could we expect?
Whitefield, Marthahalli, established IT location, and this is where initially, once the Marthahalli flyover was completed, there was a bump up in prices. And we saw, if I look at the Whitefield area, I can see that in the last 3 years, there was about a 22% rise in values, 5% in the last 2 years. In the last 1 year, there has been a significant rise in values here, because it's not only Whitefield, you see. First, it was core Whitefield that was occupied. Now the areas around Whitefield, there was a lot of demand because they were lower priced, but there was a demand there. It was close to Whitefield. Now established developers are going into those areas like Madhavpura. So you will see that these are the areas where growth is happening, and it gets included into the Whitefield lot, and that is why there is a lot of demand. Electronic City is close to the IT corridor, but it is lower in prices, and therefore people who are on a budget look at Electronic City. Electronic City has been in the consumer demand for the last 4-5 quarters, and we see consistently there is a bump up in prices. But if you look at Sarjapur Road, the price rise has not been very high. It's about 6-7%, but we think it's early on in the cycle, and it's not. Earlier it was the Sarjapur Road that was in demand. Now I see a lot of demand growing towards Sarjapur itself, and that is that there are big investments from IT companies happening there, and that is why these are in demand.
Well, let's also talk about more traditional locations like Bannerghatta Road and Kanakpura Road. Now, this used to be on the outskirts of Bangalore about 10 years ago. That's no longer the case. There's a lot of development happening on both of these roads, Jayashree, but they have also run up a fair amount. What would you say is the expected capital appreciation from these areas?
Bannerghatta Road, HSR layout and Kanakpura, the demand is very high. And clearly when we ask our consumers, they tell us that it is because these are the green areas, these are the traditional areas close to JP Nagar and so on. So established Bangalore areas. But, there are new corridors connecting it to the IT corridor, which are planned infrastructure projects. So wherever there is a transport infrastructure which is going to link you to the economic hubs, that's where the values are going to rise. And we see that along the Bannerghatta Road and HSR layout, you do have planned transport infrastructure. So we see the prospects, good prospects here.